If an item in a sales order line is a BOM item, you can view the structure directly from the sales order line by using the composed of tree form. This form displays a BOM tree structure that resembles the tree structure seen in the BOM designer form. Note that all changes made to the BOM in the composed of tree form will also be made to the actual BOM. Therefore, you must not make changes to the BOM from this form. We'll talk about that a little later. For now, we'll access the composed of tree form by clicking on the Product and Supply button in the Sales Order Lines Fast tab in the Sales Order form. When you open this form, there are a few options. The composed of tree form contains the Designer and the Setup tabs. The Designer tab contains the BOM structure. The information displayed on this tab can be changed based on the criteria selections made on the Setup tab. You can click Print when the BOM item is selected in the tree structure and access a report on the BOM and its components. The Setup tab of the composed of tree form includes the display criteria for configuration, version, and BOM lines, display criteria for inventory dimensions, BOM line and route details, parameters for line editing and deletion, and print setup parameters. The Setup tab also contains a legend containing the symbols used in the BOM designer. The legend is located under the Used Symbols in BOM section. If a customer requests specific changes to the BOM during the production process, it is best practice to make the changes in a BOM configuration tool or a production order. Let's discuss some other options to work with BOMs from the sales order form. The first is Requirements Explosion from a sales order. The explosion is a partial update of the dynamic plan, taking the new order quantity of the selected order line into account. It will update demand and calculate the related supply as planned or eventually firmed orders. The explosion can be automatically triggered when saving a sales line if the sales line has a reservation equal to explosion or the delivery date control is set to Capable to Promise or CTP. The BOM explosion functionality is a part of the planning and availability check. Capable to Promise is another component that explosions are a part of. Independent of how the plan was updated, the most important information from the sales order entry clerk is the future date. This functionality can be used during the sales order entry process if you need to understand why the calculated delivery date cannot be moved to an earlier date. It is shown at the top of the explosion form. If the delivery date requested in the sales line cannot be met by the actual plan, the same information is displayed relative to every line. This allows the order entry clerk to understand what component potentially causes the delay. You can click the Update line and select the Based on BOM/Formula option. Next is the Components Explosion from a sales order. This function is found underneath Sales Order Line, Explode, and then BOM lines. This replaces the original sales line with its components and creates a sales line for each of the individual components found in the BOM. The sales order with the BOM item and its related printed documents, such as packing slip or invoices, only display the BOM item itself along with the price, quantity, and other details that are ordinarily printed on such reports. This means that the underlying BOM lines cannot be seen, even though they are included in the lines of the sales order. To see the underlying BOM lines, companies can make use of the Explode BOM function. The explosion shows how requirements can be satisfied at all item levels. This information can be used to prepare the invoice for the customer, so that the order processor can determine whether there will be purchasing or production delays before the delivery is possible. The last feature is the ability to calculate a BOM from a sales order line. BOM calculations can be conducted directly from the sales order form. After a calculation is run, the results can be transferred to the sales order line. This is especially useful when cost and sales prices for a particular sales order differ from the original prices. For example, to calculate the cost price of a particular configuration, the user creates a sales order using a configurable BOM, specifies the profit setting, and then transfers the new sales price to the sales order line. Let's switch over to AX and I'll show this to you now. We'll start by opening up the Sales and Marketing module and then going into the All Sales Order form. I'll select the sales order that we created earlier and click Edit in the Maintain group of the Action pane. Here you can see the item. From each item line on a sales order that contains a BOM, there are several things that you can do. We'll start by using the explosion option. This is found underneath the Sales Order Line button. And then BOM lines. Here you can see each of the BOM lines that are available on this particular bill of material from the parent. You'll notice that one of these is also another bill of material. If you want to explode all of the BOM lines, you can click the Select All checkbox and then click OK. Alternatively, if you only want to explode some specific lines, you can individually mark the lines by using the Mark checkbox on the lower portion of the form. When you're ready, click OK. Now you can see the original line item is still selected and the two component lines are also available on the line of the order. You'll notice that the quantity field in the header line for the bill of material that you're purchasing is now zeroed out and the quantities are now specified on the subcomponent lines. Next, let's take a look at some of the other functions. For this particular option, we'll use the Update Line button and then select the Calculate based on BOM/formula. This will open up the BOM calculation form where we can perform a BOM calculation for the specific item on this specific sales order. I'll select the configuration that I'm using and then click OK. You'll want to make sure that you update the quantity appropriately. Here, you'll notice I'm receiving some warnings because some of the components are missing cost prices. So here, you'll notice that the cost price did not calculate because all of the components are missing their cost prices. This BOM calculation form works much like the BOM calculation form when accessed from the item price screen. You can use the Summary and Complete buttons to view the details of how the BOM calculation was configured. If you want to apply the new cost price that's calculated for an item, you can use the Transfer button and then select To Order. This will copy the cost price that was calculated, and you can see in this screen, to the lines of the order. But because this calculation came up with a cost price of 0 because the items are missing the cost price, I don't want to do that. So I'll close the window. To view the details of the BOM on a particular line, you can use that Explode option, or there's another button that you can use to just view the details. You'll also notice another option underneath the Product and Supply button, which allows you to create a new production order. If changes are required in the BOM, it's recommended that you create the production order for the sales order and then modify the BOM directly from the production order, not from the sales order. But at the lower portion of this form, you'll notice the Composed of tree. We'll open this up, which will allow us to view the details of the BOM. Here, if we go to the Setup tab, we can select which version we want to look at. You'll notice that we're looking at the configuration for high-end based on a specific date, and the quantity is 0. If we need to change the setup, we can do that by marking various different checkboxes and then returning to the Designer tab. Currently, this particular BOM does not have an active version, so we would need to go activate the BOM to be able to see the details. That's why the red X is displayed here. If you go back to the Setup tab, you'll be able to see all of the different symbols that are used in this screen. So the box symbol indicates that it's an item, and the paper with the purple gear indicates that it's a service. If there are additional components, additional symbols will also appear. From here, you'd be able to drill down into the items and the quantities and basic information. If you wanted to print the details of the BOM, you can do that by clicking the Print button on the left-hand side. I'll see you in the module review where we'll take a look at what we've learned in this module.